Hey, family, welcome back to another episode of Blended Family Matters, where we talk about real life, real faith, and real strategies for building strong blended families. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Milo, and today we're going to talk about something that's literally shift the atmosphere in your home, family meetings. And we had a question about that, and you check us out on our short. We did a little short brief preview of that. We're talking about meetings that build trust, reduce chaos, but also it helped you blend your blended family grow together. It was very beneficial for us.
Absolutely. And here's the twist: family meetings don't stay the same. Because guess what? We don't stay the same as people. We change, we evolve.
Yeah.
So do the family meetings because the kids grow and evolve. The family bonds deepen and the household rhythms change. So today, we're going to be breaking down some family meetings, what it looks like in various stages.
Yeah. So, hey, look, before we go any further, take the nuggets.
That's right.
Take the nuggets because what works for us, all of it may not work for you. So just take the nuggets. So let's start with the why, okay? So in the blended family, communication is everything. And that was very important to us, especially me, because I was the one who wanted to do the family meetings. So, and the reason being because as a child, I grew up in a generation, I'm sure you have too. We've talked about that. We grew up in a generation where you were seen and not heard.
Absolutely.
You really didn't have a voice.
No.
So what we wanted to do was create an environment for our children to be able to communicate and help their social skills. So one of the whys was conflict resolution. When there was tension in the house, when you hear them up there fussing and disagreeing and things like that. Okay, let's talk. Let's come down, family meeting, and they come down there, like the burden of the world on their shoulders. Family meeting. But that was one of the reasons. The other one was developing, like I said, the social skills. Teaching them how to communicate.
Yes.
How to resolve conflicts through your conversation, through your words, not through actions all the doggone time. You know what I mean? Also, how to communicate in the area where you're in a place of around people who are in authority. You got your parents here. Learn how to communicate respectfully in our presence. You do it in the home.
Yes.
You should be able to do it outside of the home.
That's good.
It all started in the home.
Absolutely.
And then decision making. When we talk about decision making in particular, was say for instance we had a vacation. We wanted to go on vacation. So my wife and I would talk about, hey, here's the budget. So then. And the budget was, so here's the budget. So we're going to present this to the kids. Here are the options.
Right.
Now, what do you guys think? And what that did was it gave them some ownership.
Yes.
And it make them more a part of and help us to make decisions as a family. So it had a lot of purposes to it. And it really was to help develop the family, but also develop the kids and develop us as parents, because we had to learn this as well.
Absolutely. Family meetings, although I was not a fan of the family meetings in the beginning, y'all. I was the one that be like, abort. Who did it? Why are we having a family meeting?
Who stirred this up?
However, as time went on, I started, feeding into the family meeting. Because I saw the positivity that came out of it. I saw the benefits of it. It was creating a safe environment where everyone can breathe, they could talk, they could feel like they were seen, as well as heard. Like my husband said, when we were growing up, we were children of the era of you be seen and not heard.
You don't have a voice.
You ain't got no voice.
You don't have
an
opinion.
This is not a democracy. It's a dictatorship. And if you don't like it, so be it.
That's it. It is what it is.
But it's not about control. Family meetings is definitely not about control. It's about connection. And connection is key for blended family. It's about saying we're building this together.
Absolutely. And the beauty of this is the meetings, they grow with the family. We talk about we change. We get older. We should be getting a little bit sharper.
Absolutely.
Maturing. So the meetings aren't going to stay the same. So what you started won't look the same 2 or 3 years from now. And that's progress.
Absolutely. And who doesn't like
Mm-hmm.
progress?
I know I
I know I do
do.
too. So, in the beginning stages, and when I say the beginning stages of blending your family together, okay?
Yeah.
Your blending stages is very fragile. Everything is new to everybody, even the parents. It's an adjustment period.
Yeah.
It's almost like a meet and greet.
Yeah, because everybody can be walking on eggshells because you're not trying to offend the other one. You're trying
Right.
to hope this one will understand and connect.
Right. Or you could be walking around with a chip on your shoulder
Oh
because
boy.
we had those too.
Yeah.
So family meetings should be short and light in the beginning.
Yeah.
Because what you're trying to do, you're trying to start building.
Yeah.
And in the beginning stages, everything is just, okay, can this go here? Can this handle this? Maybe it's not time for this right now.
Right.
So you really want to, go a little slow and light.
Yeah. Now, and I like that because you might want to just try something maybe around 15 minutes as a start.
Yeah.
Give or take a few minutes, 15 minutes, just to try to implement this because you can't just jump right in and think it's going to flow.
Exactly.
You're trying this thing and seeing whether or not it's going to fit. And maybe do some fun things like maybe one week y'all just talk about, okay, what happened good this week at school? Or are you thinking about doing some extracurricular activity after school? Something that would interest them, showing that you have an interest in them and trying to open the door for communication.
Yeah, something like, what are your likes? What are your dislikes? Avoid talking about anything heavy, like, okay, this is our house, these are the rules.
That's it.
Over there, you do whatever's over there. No.
Lights out at 9. Click.
Don't come off like that.
Yeah.
Because that's where the dictatorship comes in. That discipline and assigning chores right off the break. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let's just make sure that everybody understands that this is our home. We all are responsible for taking care of it. We all got to put our hands to the plow. That way, it doesn't look like you just, the kids come in and you just saying, you do the dishes, you take out the trash, you clean your. Don't nobody
yakety yak, don't talk back.
Nobody want to hear that.
That's it.
This is a time of building, and not just building anything. You're building trust. You're helping to break down some of those walls.
Absolutely.
To let them know that it's okay. We understand that this is new, this is different, and it may take you some time.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Yeah, and I'm gonna pull on that thread a little bit, taking some time, because in previous episodes, one of the things we talked about was think about it like a crock pot.
Yes.
Slow cooking.
Yes.
Not just throw things in there and it's ready in about 15,
push
20
the button
minutes.
To blend it all up.
Right. So understand, it's a process. It's a slow cooking process. So just remember that.
Yes.
Because in the end, you win.
Absolutely.
It's all about the winning when it comes to that blended family, everybody coming together. Do some things when you win. Have those winning moments, celebrate the wins.
Yes.
Maybe go for a snack. Have a game night or game time. Maybe go out and get some ice cream. Just to kind of like, what, that was a good moment. Let's take advantage of this. That type of thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then there's the structure and shared stage.
Yeah. You want me to take that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think you'll do better on that.
Okay. After a period of time, the home should feel more stable. Trust is forming. Kids are more open. Now, you start to tweak the structure a little bit. We elaborated before about a foundation. Yes. Now we're talking about structuring, because actually the foundation is God. That's what we built the foundation on. Right. Now we're doing is working on the structure. Right.
Yeah, because with God being the foundation, then the parents, we're like the scaffold. So we got to be nice and strong so we can build on it. So that we can bring the kids along to build upon that. So what that looks like, you asked, I'm glad you asked me.
I was going to ask, but I'm glad you put it on out there.
It's about, like an agenda.
Yeah.
And this is a small example of an agenda to have for your family meeting. Some things that you can talk about. You could talk about your wins for the week or for the day.
Yeah.
You could talk about some calendar updates, with kids. You just
Yeah.
like you have a schedule, sometimes your kids have a schedule.
Especially with school.
If
Mm-hmm.
they're in extracurricular activities at school, we had kids that were cheerleaders and football and all kinds of stuff. So we had to bring our calendars together because it was important for us to be there.
Absolutely.
So you talk about your calendar updates, your household expectations. Again, letting everyone know this is our home. So all of us are responsible for keeping our home together. You know, we don't want our home in a disarray, chaos, and all of that kind of stuff. So it's up to all of us to put our hands to the plows. We would do check-ins. How are you? How are you feeling? How are you doing? You know, somebody might have been having a tough time at school or at work or even in the house.
Right.
You know, checking in with one another. How are you feeling? You know, since we have become as one family. And then prayer. Does anybody need any prayer? Does anybody need any encouragement?
Yeah.
Maybe, you know, somebody is getting ready for a test or trying to try out for a team. Or maybe a parent is going through a transition on their job. So it wasn't just geared to the children.
Right.
The family meeting was just that. It was about the whole family.
And
so
go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm going to cut you off.
So this is also a good time to introduce shared problem solving.
Absolutely.
Shared problem solving is so key because that's something that you have to train your children to do. And if you start doing that in the home, if they see that they have a voice in the family meetings, then once they get outside of the home, they'll be more prone. Okay, I know our children still today share about family meetings to their friends and share, you know, when they're dealing with their friends with different problem solving issues, they share some of the things that you know that they learn. And instead of dictating rules, ask some questions. You'd be surprised. That prompts the dialogue. But when you start doing that dictatorship, they go into shutdown mode. I know I do.
They do.
Shut down.
Because they're still adjusting.
Yes.
Yeah. So, like any of us, kids buy in to what they help build. You know how it is when you help build something.
Yep.
There's a buy-in to that. You feel that ownership aspect of it. And blended families need that buy-in, y'all. We really do. For example, these family meetings, certain times, let kids lead in certain areas.
Yeah.
Might throw a question out there or throw something out there and let them take the lead and see how they respond to them. Maybe share an opening question. Yes. What we're trying to do is help them build ownership, feel a part of.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then remember, in the beginning, we told you these family meetings evolve. So now we get into the teen years. So now listen, you know, these teenagers, they are a whole different world. If y'all were from the 80s and the 90s and watched the TV show, The Different World, that's what the teenage era is. Yeah. They are a whole different world. Teenagers need a voice. They gonna talk.
Yeah.
If they don't do nothing else, they gonna let you know how they feel, if they agree, if they don't. And so, but what our job is as a parents is to help them to cultivate the respect of expressing themselves. You know, especially when they're talking to their elders, their parents, those in authority. So they need to be taught to do this. Remember, in Proverbs 22:6 says, train up a child in the way that he should go. He will not depart from it. So that's what we are to do as parents. So your family meetings is a good training ground.
And I like that. And we're going to keep saying that over and over again.
Yes.
Training starts in the home.
In the home.
It starts in the home. And what you get in there, you should be getting outside of that.
Absolutely. That's no one else's responsibility but yours. Because remember, God gave you children as a gift. That was a gift. You know, so when he gives you a gift, then you're responsible of taking care of that gift.
Absolutely.
Cultivating that gift. And, you know, making the best choices and decisions for that gift until they are able to do it themselves. So when we send them out to school, They should already have some training. Because remember, we don't know these people that we're sending them out to school to.
Right.
And it's no knock against teachers, because I'm a teacher. But you are your first child's teacher in the home.
That's it. That's it.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to touch on what you said teens need a voice. That's so true. So teens respond better to collaboration than instruction. That's that voice part she was talking about. So let them help set the agenda. Ask anything you want us to understand better. Because sometimes there's that void in communication. I don't, I've been where you are.
Right.
But if you don't tell me certain things, I don't know where you are at this particular time, or where you may be thinking about certain things, transitioning into school and things like that. And be ready for those deeper topics.
Right.
Such as boundaries. And that's important. Setting those boundaries.
Yes.
Dating. School stress and school. I'm gonna tell you, when I see what the kids go through now in school, man, they got so much coming at them right now. They need stuff like these family meetings in the home. Identity. Who are you? And what my wife and I, what we try to do, your identity is what God says you are.
Yes.
And we try to amplify that. Who you are, who God says you were. And co-parenting frustrations. Because that household and this household are two different households.
Two different countries.
We don't try to run that.
I told you guys, dual citizenship.
Absolutely. We don't try to run theirs. And we just maintain and manage this one. And this is how we're going to flow over here.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I just want to add to that. When we talk about the family meetings in the teen era, everything is not for everybody. So we got to respect the privacy of our teens. So there may be topics that they do want to discuss.
Yeah.
Especially like dating. It's different for females and males. So the females, our girls didn't feel comfortable talking about dating with their dad because, of course, fathers are very protective of their daughters. The guys didn't want to talk about dating with me because I'm like, who's she? I need to see this young lady. So that's when you have to respect their privacy, understand that everything is not for everybody, and not everybody needs to be shared in a group. Not everything needs to be shared in a group.
Right.
So sometimes we had to do what we call breakout sessions of the family meeting.
Yeah.
So certain topics were breakout sessions because the goal was to keep the communication going and keep it open, not force it.
Right.
Not make them feel like they were backed in a corner or whatever, but to give them a safe environment where they can, express themselves and how they felt about different topics. And so when we would have those breakout sessions, then parents, now y'all got to have a meeting after the breakout session to try to come on one accord on how we're going to move forward of what we just discussed in those breakout sessions.
And I'm going to elaborate on that breakout session because I like that term because we've been talking about family meetings, but you may have children whose age difference are, several years apart.
Yes.
So you might have teenagers and then you might have some that are not even close to those years.
Yeah.
So certain conversations, like you said, need to just be had with that teenager or those teenagers and leave those younger ones out because they're not ready for that yet.
Right.
So that's where that breakout session term, I love that. Yes.
Right. Because our teens were 3 years apart. So we had a teen of each sex, a girl and a boy of the same age at the same time, but they were still 3 years apart. So the younger teens weren't ready to talk about the dating aspect.
Right.
So we weren't going to bring that into the group form.
Right.
We would put it out there so that our older teens will understand that we're coming to talk to them on a one-on-one basis.
So we're going to transition into the launching aspect of it. That's when the family meetings become more like check-ins. The kids are getting older. We may not talk. Getting ready for college. Getting ready to transition move out. So move out. So maybe monthly, maybe quarterly, but we still stay connected because it still matters. These conversations shift more towards maybe college or jobs, relationships, money, faith. I know one of the things in our household was more faith, and they might start having more questions because now the responsibility of your relationship with God is more on you now, not through the parent.
Absolutely.
And also future plans. So non-biological parents often become mentors at this stage.
Yes.
Because the years spent in pouring into those children. The non-biological parent has all of a sudden established that trust.
Yes.
So now they might come back to the non-biological parent because they might even feel more comfortable with that one than the biological parent.
Yeah, my girls felt more comfortable with my husband than I was, than with me, because his temperament was different.
Right.
So that helped a lot as well.
So the relationship shifts from a place of authority now to guidance.
Absolutely, absolutely. And let's talk about the secret sauce.
Okay.
The secret sauce is, if you take nothing else from today. Take that blended families thrive when meetings are consistent. There has to be consistency with your family meetings. Meaning, not saying you got to have them every day, or every week, but at least every month. You want to make sure that there's some consistency there, enough to build some trust, and flexible enough to honor some emotions. So you might have your meetings every week, because that's what is warranted for your family. For us, we didn't have them every week. We had them based upon the atmosphere or the temperament of our household. Right. So sometimes we might have had 2 in 1 week. It just depends on what was going on.
And that goes back to, okay, we couldn't finish this tonight because we still see these emotions rumbling. So we're going to table this and come back, find a spot when the emotions has subsided and we can hear one another.
Right. We wanted to make sure that the environment was safe enough for honesty, structured enough to reduce chaos, and warm enough to build connections. And remember, the goal isn't perfection. Not at all, because we're not perfect. It's progress.
Yes.
It's progress, it's unity, it's building a family culture that will last. Okay?
Absolutely.
So family, we hope that you liked this episode. And if you did, if it gave you some clarity and some confidence to start your blended family, your family meetings, or restart them, we encourage you to do so.
So until next time, keep showing up. Keep choosing love. Keep building your blended family with grace.
Absolutely. And we'll see you next time on Blended Family Matters. Don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms and check out our website, fruitfulfamily101.com, to see what we're up to. We got some amazing events coming up for 2026 as well as 2027. We're going to have our first Blended Family Matters event in October. So you don't want to miss that.
Yeah, look forward.
You'll get to meet us in person and ask all the questions, put us on the spot, if you will, whatever it is.
Oh, jam.
All right? Love you guys. Until next time.
All right. Bye-bye.